Alright, just getting the music adjusted for you guys. If you feel like chatting, you can. I have a chat box in front of me. I can see what you say. You can send little emoji comments. For those of you new to RevoCycle, we'll be doing a mindful, focused, meditative indoor cycling ride today. And the idea is that we use the movement form to quiet the mind and be present and reduce stress and boost happiness. And yeah, we'll get fit as well. But the goal is always to be as present as possible through the movement form. So let's go ahead and get on our bikes, shall we? And just pedal nice and easy. Just feeling for the lightest resistance that feels smooth to us. And I want us to just take this time now to relax our shoulders and our elbows and our hands on the bars. You guys know I like to wiggle my fingers. I like to just rest the heel of my hand on the bar. And that'll allow me to then keep the tension out of the hands. And then I adjust my resistance so it's just super light. I'm just pedaling slowly, 70, 60 RPM, something super slow. I like to imagine that I'm in a parking lot and just pedaling softly, going around in circles. And as we do this now, let's release the tension in the belly. And let your back just be at a nice natural angle. No arching one way or the other. And take a couple of nice deep breaths with me now. And we always want to do that from a nice relaxed belly so that we feel that sense of relaxation that comes from deep, intentional breathing. Good. So we're just turning the legs, settling the body onto the saddle, setting our intentions for the day. You can maybe sit up like this and just let your hands drop to the side and shake your arms out a little bit. And notice how this allows your weight to settle onto the saddle, keeps your upper body out of it. It's good. And when you're ready, we can return to the part. And again, just leaving our arms sort of slightly bent. And our shoulders are away from the ears. And now with your lightest resistance, let's just go ahead and accelerate our legs up to the rhythm of this song, and let's see if we can feel it. Feeling it is so important. So close your eyes, settle your hips, keep your upper body relaxed, and just feel for this rhythm. Do you feel it? It's about 88 RPM if you're using your computer at home. So it's just a nice flat road kind of pedal speed. And let's see if we can bring just a tiny bit of resistance in. And I want you to bring in just enough that you feel it in the muscles of your legs. It's not hard, it's just a little bit more work. Yeah, and you'll notice the breath is starting to come up a little bit. And we feel the heart rate coming up a little bit. Good, keeping the shoulders relaxed. We have a nice neutral spine and the neck is nicely aligned with the spine. So we're not hunched over. Now add in a tiny bit more resistance, and this was where it becomes a little challenging. And you can actually feel a slight bit of discomfort in the muscles of your legs. Now is a wonderful time to close the eyes, settle the weight into the saddle, and just feel the movement. And now let's slow our legs down and reduce our resistance and sit up again, just like I am. Now I want you to notice that your breath is picked up, your legs are a little bit warmer. Maybe you're a little more present. And we're ready to get to work. Okay, add resistance in so it feels like we've got ourselves a hill. Get that feeling as if we've just entered into a pretty steep hill. And the way I always notice this is that I feel the hips really come in. That's when I really notice that I've entered a hill. And of course the breath starts to pick up pretty quickly. See where my hands are. I always move my hands to the middle when I'm climbing. All right, everybody. Let's just close our eyes and breathe deeply through the next 45 seconds. Check your rhythm if you lost it. Relax the belly. Now can you make this hill steeper? Let's make it steeper. If you're a Revo cycler, we're at a 4 or 5 on our scale of resistance now. If you're at home on your spin bike, this is an effort that you could hold maybe 8 to 10 minutes. That's how it should feel. Adjust your resistance so you have that. Your rhythm is set by the music. Now let's reach down, add a whole bunch of resistance, hold our rhythm and rise into it. Now come back to seated climbing. Still uncomfortable. Adjust if this is too easy for you. We need to stay in our hill. Almost there now. If you can, take it to the heaviest level that you can turn at this pedal speed. And now we're going to transition back down to flat road, so we can resistance back down. And just pedal a nice, just pedal yourself a nice flat road pedal speed here. Now, let's see if we can accelerate our legs up to about 108 RPM. So bring your leg speed up, keep your resistance very light. Want to keep your hips steady on the seat, hands light on the handlebars. Now slow your legs down. And just notice your breath. Alright, come on back to your handlebars. Rest your hands, nice and light. Wiggle your fingers. We're going to accelerate again in 2 and 1. Let's come back up to speed. It's a fast pedal speed. It's hard for us to reach this without bouncing, so see if you can do this smoothly. And now slow your legs down. Just slow them down and pedal softly again. Notice your breathing. Notice how that felt. Were you bouncy? Were you twisting? Was your mind wandering? Just notice. Alright, steep hill. Get huge resistance. Rise into this. And put your weight into the saddle. I mean the pedals, not the handlebars. And now come back, we're into seated climb. Revo cyclists, this is about a 3 or 4 on our scale of resistance. And this is where we settle in. Just notice how our muscles are engaging around the circle. It's a beautiful time to let the body center on the rhythm and the muscles working. Alright, we're going to come up again, out of the saddle. Let me count you into it. In 3, in 2, and 1. Add massive resistance, hold your rhythm, rise into it. Now come down to flat road, just a very light resistance. And I want you to bring your leg speed up. We're going to shoot for about 82 RPM now. If you have a computer on your bike at home. Just a brief recovery before we hit another hill. And then we go back upwards. Okay, are you ready to hit the hill again? Dial back your hill resistance, slow your legs to our rhythm. Watch my leg speed, they'll show you the leg speed you need. It's about 67, 68 RPM. We're in the hill now. Driving through the hips. I want us to spend just a couple of seconds feeling those glutes. And you'll notice the lower spine, the erector spinae muscles, they'll brace your hips. So they have that slight rocking motion you're seeing here. That's how you get powerful in a climb. Okay, you ready to stand with me again? Let's do it for about 20 seconds. In 3, in 2, and 1, add your resistance, rise. Return to seated climbing. Keep it heavy. We don't want to take a break here. We want to keep our hill going. You notice the breath now. Super rapid. Heart rate is high. If you have a heart rate monitor, check it out right now. If not, just notice your breath. And bring it back down to one resistance, light resistance. And I'm going to let you take the next 20 seconds or so to feel for the rhythm of this song all on your own. Light resistance, just feeling for the rhythm. It's a good mind-body practice. Helps us really focus the mind and not worry about tomorrow or yesterday and just be here right now. So go ahead, close your eyes, settle your weight, check your posture. The very act of tuning into the music and the rhythm and outputting it through the legs is a mindful act. And because it's mindful, it keeps us in the here and now. And when we're in the here and now, it's really good for us. All right, you got your rhythm? Go ahead and dial in the resistance that feels super challenging at this pedal speed. And I want to feel like you could not hold it for 5 minutes. That's how hard this is. And this is when it's so important to relax your belly so you can breathe. So important to relax the shoulders and lighten the hands on the handlebars. Cycling's about suppleness and smoothness. Okay, we're almost there. Then we'll transition. Now, keeping the same resistance that you have, slow your legs by 10 beats. So it's an easier effort, right? Same resistance. Turn slower is an easier effort. So when I give you the signal, we're going to accelerate our legs as fast as we can get them going while keeping the upper body calm and breathing. And we'll hold it for about 10 seconds, okay? So settle yourself in. Take a deep breath. In 2. And 1. Accelerate your legs upwards as if you're sprinting. Keeping the hips stable, keeping the upper body calm. Now let's slow our legs back down to 72 or so, the rhythm of the song. See how that felt. Well, you can probably hear I'm really out of breath. If you're not really out of breath right now, Add a tiny bit more resistance right now. So the next time we repeat that acceleration, you'll end up out of breath. All right, are you ready? In 2 and 1. Accelerate your legs again, keeping the hips steady. Get your legs speed up, no bouncing. And slow back down to 72 or so. Check your breathing, check your heart rate. Or you can check your sweatiness. I'm dripping sweat at this point. Good. Breathing. Setting our intention. One more to go. Do you think you can take a little bit more this time? If so, add some more in right now before we accelerate. All right, you ready? You ready for your last acceleration? Let's make this the most beautiful one yet, shall we? In 2 and 1. Accelerate the legs again. It's a lovely feeling. Stay with it just a little bit longer. Just a little longer. All right, slow your legs down. So we're going to practice a little bit. We're going to practice finding the heaviest resistance that we can pedal in the seated position. And that takes a little courage. And when I say the heaviest, I mean the one that we can hold the rhythm with for maybe 3-4 minutes, something like that. All right, so using your light resistance right now, get your rhythm. Okay, got it? Now add the heaviest resistance you could hold at this rhythm for 3 to 4 minutes. Do you notice the hips immediately? If this is just absolutely killing your quads, I want you to get your hips involved. Yes, the quads are involved, but when we're pushing heavy like this, you've got to get the lower back and the hips and the glutes. All right, close your eyes, and we're going to mimic breathing pattern from the diaphragm of the belly. I don't want you to bend your head over. I don't want you to arch your back. Keep a nice neutral spine. Your neck is aligned with your spine. Now take your resistance back down to very light, as if you've just entered a parking lot. And you're pedaling in circles. And just kind of assess how that felt to you. What if we had to go another 2 minutes or so? Do you think it could have? I think I probably could have, but I'm just dripping sweat at this point. And it would have been very, very uncomfortable, but I think I could have done it. And I want you to make that assessment for yourself. It's always about how you feel. Now, using your light resistance, align your legs to the speed of the song again. Close your eyes and just breathe. Okay, you got it? Now, that heavy resistance we had last time was the heaviest we could pedal seated. I want you to go heavier than that now and stand into it for our next little piece. Are you ready? In 2, 1. Add it in heavier than last time. Hold this rhythm and rise into it. Stay with it a little bit. All right, come back down to flat road, reduce your resistance, bring your leg speed up a little bit. So we're into a little active recovery right now, just light resistance, moderate pedal speed. And now let's just close our eyes. I want you to visualize in front of you a road along the beach. It's really sunny, no clouds in the sky. You can smell the salt air, hear the waves crashing. You're just cruising along. As we do this, we'll check our shoulders, our elbows to see if any tension has crept into those. And the more we can bring in those senses, the sound of the waves, the feel of the road, the smell of the salt, the more powerful our visualization exercise is. So let me give you 30 seconds to do just that as we cruise along this flat road. Slow the legs, reduce the resistance. Have a little water if you haven't had any in a while. Maybe sit up like I am and shake it out. All right, come back to your handlebars. Super light resistance. Bring the leg speed upward and upward and upward. Let's get to be around 100 RPM at light resistance and take a few seconds to settle our bodies onto the saddle. And notice if your hips are bouncing. Notice if your shoulders are creeping up to the ears. I want you to really settle and be one with the bike. Now add in the resistance that you feel like you could not hold 1 minute at this pedal speed. High output effort here. Quick assessment, do you think you can add a little bit more? If so, add it now. It's one of a maximal effort right now. Okay, slow the legs, reduce your resistance, gather your breath for just a few seconds. We're going to try that again. And the result of that first effort will determine if you add more resistance or not the second effort. I bet you can hear my breathing. It's rapid. All right, add that resistance in. Accelerate the legs again. Near maximal effort, close the eyes and breathe deeply. Now I want you to notice my upper body stays calm here. My hands are still light. This is just an extremely hard effort from the hips down. Slow your legs. Reduce your resistance. One more. How are you feeling? I should have you gasping for breath. Okay, let's do one more, shall we? Come into position. Check your hands, elbows, shoulders. Are you ready? In 2 and 1. Accelerate your legs. Add the resistance up at around 100 RPM. Now just breathe. Can you stay here another 15, 20 seconds? Can you add maybe a tiny bit more if we do that? Now bring your resistance down. We're back into a parking lot. Pedaling softly. So those of you with a heart rate monitor right now, you should be at a near maximum heart rate from that. Those of you without, you can look at a clock and count for 15 seconds, or you can just notice your breathing. We're in a very nice, relaxed position now, gathering ourselves after those very difficult efforts, noticing that sense of calm and peace. And we're just pedaling lightly with very light resistance. And now it's time to complete our workout and start to cool down. So let's start to take some resistance out as we keep our leg speed very slow. And you can sit up like I do every now and then. It's okay. And the important part about this cool down is that we notice the breath slowing, we notice the heart rate coming down, and we notice the legs feeling better. All of that noticing is super important. There's somebody coming up the walk there with a gigantic case of paper towels. I always tell people the most important 15 seconds of your workout are these right now. When you notice how you feel. Now if you can, take a little more resistance out and just slow your legs to a stop. And let's come to a stop and sit up nice and tall. And release the shoulders. Let the arms hang down. And breathe intentionally from a relaxed belly. And now let's rise up so that our feet are at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position. We just drop our heels and feel a nice stretch in the calves. Just using our weight to stretch those calves a little bit. Now rotate the back foot to the front. And again, just drop your heels. Don't forget to breathe as we do this. All right, let's swing a leg off the bike, and I'm going to let you stretch your quads and your hamstrings on your own. Continue your deep and intentional breathing during that time, and we'll see you for our next class. Today's Tuesday. Our next class is Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. So we'll see you then. Thanks for joining me, guys. Stick around, do your stretching. See you soon.